Hello YouTube. So today it's a 4:45 in the afternoon, and I've been on early shift today, so I've decided to come out and walk from home straight out my front door. Nice and easy to navigate. The whole thing is basically on the Icknield way, so I shouldn't even need to look at my phone much because it should be well signposted, hopefully. And going from my home to a hill called Deacon Hill, which is like a local tourist point, and I'm going to camp at the top of that. So don't know how long it's going to take with the weight on my back. I've tried to keep it as light as possible. Maybe I'll do some weighing and stuff when I get home tomorrow, but basically I'm going to walk back again exactly the same way, just coming back tomorrow. So, you know, it's nice and refreshing not to have to plan too much directions and stuff. You just walk out the door, follow a track, follow it back again next day. Show you all the kit later and that, but basically I've tried to keep it, like I say, lightweight and a bit of a summer kit. Unfortunately, it turns out that the temperatures have dropped a little bit. It's still warm now, it's nice now, but at night in the early hours it's still getting a bit cold. It's quite cold in the morning, so I've had to change up a little bit of my gear, but I'll show you that later anyway. But that's basically the premise of the video. I'm on my own this weekend, so I thought make the most of it. I'm on an early shift, get out on the Friday night, Friday afternoon, do the first bit, camp, get back on Saturday, and I'll still have Saturday evening and Sunday to do other stuff and do what I want. But whilst the weather's nice, you've got to get out, innit? So yeah, I'll bring you back when we get further along the track, something interesting comes up. So as you can see, this part of the trail, got to go up and over the railway in this iron bridge. So that's the thing about these national trails, is that it can take you anywhere. 1 minute you're on fields, woods, hills, over a train track, through a village. So yeah, just crossing over here now. Back there we crossed the actual railway, and this bit's an old disused railway. It's not here anymore. I'm guessing it went over the top, or it was a tunnel, I'm not sure, but it's kind of a little trail that goes up there still. A sort of sign there, I don't know what that is. Some sort of old railway. You see a lot of them in England, the disused railways, old tracks that have been discontinued. As I was saying earlier, it's quite nice and warm now, but just recently, like, we've had a good August. It's been hot, and sometimes really hot. And if it was still like that, I'd just be using the bivvy bag alone, but because it's cooled down a bit, it's only like 20 degrees maximum today, and then getting down to 11 plus the wind tonight, or in the early hours. Ah, there is water. I didn't think there was water on this route, so I didn't bring my filter. I just bought 1 litre of water. If you can see that little mermaid someone's put there. Quite clean as well. I think with the filter that would be fine. Nice little stream that is. But yeah, I only bought 1 litre of water plus a spare bottle, so when I get to the foot of the hill there is actually a pub, and I want to go in there and get them to fill my water bottles up. Maybe have a swift half if I have time, depends what time I arrive. But yeah, some cool tracks going off into there. Have I walked past here before? I think I might have, when we first moved here, but it was very different at the time, very muddy and cold. Yeah, nice little area. Anyway, ah yeah, the Hicker Trail, we did a bit of that before. Ah, here's the old railway, look. Here's the sleepers. They're obviously not guaranteed to be safe, so they've put this bridge here. There's the water flowing underneath it. Very pretty, nice little area. yeah, so if I get there like 7, half 7, I could probably fill up my bottles, have a swift bath, and still get to the top of the hill and set up just about for sunset. But any later than that and I'm pushing it, so we'll see. Well, I'm back on the path now. I actually went the wrong way and ended up, instead of walking on this nice path, I ended up walking around the streets. A bit of a, don't want to sound snobbish, a bit of a crappy council estate, bit of Icknield. It's a shame. Come out at the beginning, there was a nice pub called the Plume of Feathers, looked really good actually. I've never been there, I'll have to go there, but I ended up walking around the streets and sort of like stuff like that. You know how like you just get people like, they'll have a bit of land or a garden on show and they've just got just crap dumped, stuff, like old crappy stuff. I don't get that. Why do people do that? Anyway, so I'm back on the Icknield way. I should have been more careful looking where I was going, but anyway, coming out of Icknield now, and again it should just be pretty straightforward, going across some fields and stuff, much like this sort of scenery, but a bit away from the houses until I get to Purton. When I get to Purton, I might get some water there, instead of having to go to the next pub, which is past the hill, because then I have to go past the hill to the pub, come back on myself again. So if I see the pub in Purton, it's not too far off track, might just get it there, because then that's only like a last little section to the hills then. Just coming into the edge of Purton, little village, and a little bit off of my path is a pub, so I'm going to try and stop off at that pub for 10 minutes, get a drink, fill up my water bottle. Will be an extra kilo to carry for the last bit, but I'd rather do it now than later. So this little area here is what's left of a Motte and Bailey, like a little castle. That's why the ground is all undulating, there's a big dip in the middle there. Wonder if any of these are also burial mounds. You can see like running along there, that ditch is like probably a moat or something. We've got these signs here that says public bridleway known as Wood Lane. That's funny. And it is the Icknield way as well, known as Wood Lane. So is it not Wood Lane? So yeah, that was Purton. Stopped off at the Motte and Bailey. Nice little pub. I'd like to come back there on a summer's evening. Hoping only a couple of kilometres now, but it might be a little bit more, I don't know. And hopefully, what's the time? It's like 10 to 7, so plenty of time really. If it's a couple of kilometres, then I've got plenty of time to get there and get set up before it gets dark, which will be handy, because setting up a tarp, I mean I've got basically a bivvy and a, I'm not sure if I mentioned that, but I've got bivvy and a poncho tarp, which is quite small and doesn't have a lot of guy out points, so it's going to be kind of do whatever suits the environment. So there's different setups I could do. I want to try and keep it simple, as long as I cover the head end just in case it rains. Not supposed to, but just in case, then I'll be fine. But I'll just have to see when I get there and kind of make it up as I go. Chalk, pure chalk. Look at that. Tent pegs, worst nightmare. Can't get your tent pegs in this stuff. Okay, this is where you got to be careful. Came from down there. This is a national trail, the Icknield way, and that's a very obvious path. You come up here, come to a bit of a crossroads, and the main path clearly continues up there, but that's not the Icknield way. This almost non-path that hardly anyone's gone on. That's the Icknield way. So don't think that, oh, it's the Icknield way, it's a national trail, it's got to be the biggest, most well-trodden one. Not necessarily. Sometimes it goes off on a tangent. So yeah, there is signs there, there is signs back there, but you can easily miss those. Someone's locked the fucking gate. I'm going to climb over. Both gates. It was like that last time as well. I don't know if that's you know, that's the hill up there. We're going straight up the steep bit. I don't know if that's you know, like some sort of, what do you call it, a trust or something like that owns the land that's locked that, or if it's just like farmers. And I can understand on the other side of that fence. But this hill, you know, it's like a public area. It's definitely open to public walking around here and stuff, so I'm not sure why they've locked that. I mean, they want you to come from down there, I suppose, but what's the fucking difference? Don't really get it. Anyway, onwards and upwards. It's just up there. The sun is low. We're just up the top now. Just see a big group of walkers on their way up. Day walkers, some of them don't have bags, some of them just have small day packs. But they're probably going to come up here and watch the sunset, I suppose. Hopefully they just pass through, but I don't know, dear. So around here you've got a lot of dips, but they're quite overgrown, and there's like hawthorn and prickly stuff knocking about, so that's not really ideal. But we kind of don't really want to be on the top because it's going to be bloody windy tonight. So either I'm going to get down a little bit, down in there somewhere, or I'm going to be able to see now because of the sun, or over the other side. So that's where the hill kind of plummets down, and then this is kind of over on the other side of it. So the top of this hill is like a big flat, and you've got undulating hills over there, and that's the beacon, isn't it? The Deacon beacon. We've been here before, guys. I don't know if you've watched my other videos, you would have seen I've been to this beacon several times. I mean, there's some good little dips here, but everyone's going to be coming here, everyone, because this is where the beacon is. This is the exact bit that people cross. I could be walking around all bloody evening looking for something. It's 20 to 8. I think we've got about an hour till the sun sets. And then probably a little bit of light after that. God, my hat's blowing up. See how windy it is? Yeah, it's definitely windier on this side. So maybe this is not the best place. Brilliant place for a view. This is where they get the glorious views from this side. But over the other side, over there, is less windy. This is like exactly where the wind is coming from, straight towards me. So I'm going to have a mooch about, and I'll get back to you when I find somewhere. Okay, hope the time lapse came out. I'm not sure if it did, but I'm well happy with that. It's blocking me from the wind, which is the only bad bit of weather really, is the wind. Like I say, it'll be a bit cold in the morning, but I'll be alright. I've got the bivvy bag and a decent sleeping bag inside it. The bivvy bag tends to make it warmer, but yeah. Tied around the hood of the poncho. Tied off that tree. I was going to use a walking pole, but that tree was there, so I used that. 3 just pegged straight down to the floor, and then on this side, on the sort of head end, to give me some height, and this is the open end. Bit of a plough point. I've got the trekking pole there and a bungee, so I only use one guy line. The bungee. Just makes it so much easier. Really quick to set up. And yeah, that's my bed for the night. The Trekology UL80. Under that I've got a foam mat, because like I said, it is going to get cold. I'll get the cold from the ground otherwise. British Army bivvy bag. This is the Dutch Army poncho. Loads of height to sit up, actually more than enough. I could hunker this down a bit if I wanted to, keep it a bit more discreet, but it means I can sit up over here, not just over here, because if you bring that down, this comes down as well, so you kind of need it higher than what you need it. The sun's going to go down soon, so I'm going to try and get a bit of footage and get dinner on at the same time. So I've got pasta with better take that off a sec. This is a bit fierce, this fire dragon thing. For cooking this, you know, it can kind of burn it, so you have to keep stirring it. I've got pisto, which is like a Spanish vegetable stew, stewed vegetables in like tomatoes with pasta, and that's it. That's really nice. Yeah, if you're going to cook something like pasta on this, or reheat, it's already cooked, you just need to sit here stirring it, which means I kind of missing getting good footage of that sunrise. But I got a few little bits. Cold now. That wind is cold. The sun is on its last legs. Morning. Yeah, I didn't film anything else last night because I was just having my hot chocolate and enjoying the very last bit of light, and then I was just sort of got in my sleeping bag to stay warm, and fell asleep pretty early. But as you can see, the sun's rising there. It's rising just behind it. Came up a bit and then it's going behind a cloud, and then you see it again. But yeah, I've got my where is it? Got a GoPro set up there. Hopefully I'll get a good time lapse. Put that up now if it turns out alright. And it's a very cold morning for an August summer morning. It's bloody cold, I tell you. I've only got this thin sort of snood thing. I haven't got a proper full-on hat, so it's a bit nippy. I can't wait for it to warm up, and I'll have to get moving. I think have a coffee and then just try and get moving to get warmed up. So. Okay guys, packed up and ready to go. I'll give you a little bit of sheep footage. The sheep will come up here in the morning, that's why there's so much poo everywhere. I'll start grazing. Let me show you my camp. There we go, that's the ditch. Camping in a ditch. I don't think you can quite get the scale of how deep that is. A bit difficult to see on camera, but I'd say from where I'm standing to down the bottom, you're talking, don't know, maybe 7 foot or something, and then the other side more. So it's quite deep. The wind's coming from over there, and there's a bit of a channel, but that tree helped. And then obviously I had the tarp. So there's the beacon, and I'm off down here somewhere. Got to find find the track again. So there we go, back on the Icknield way. So there's a nice little bit of woodland here, just next to the trail. And probably be nice for camping in actually, but I think it's private because it's got a fence, some of it's barbed wire, some of it's been cut down and people have clearly gone in there. But okay, it must be private, but for people in other countries that don't know, in Britain and in England, especially England's the worst, we haven't got a lot of wilderness left, you know. The GoPro battery just died. It was on like 70% before and I've hardly used it. Now it's dead. So I think them batteries are a bit crap. I mean, I think the cold last night drained them a bit, but like I said, it was 70% this morning when I left the hill. So yeah, a bit rubbish really. But anyway, like I was saying about these woods, yeah, a lot of our wilderness has been taken away from us already, and still is, by things like HS2. And the little that there is all, half of it's made private and fenced off to us, the public, you know, us mere peasants anyway. And it's kind of an old culture that unfortunately still exists within our weird old school class system, Victorian bullshit that we've got. And yeah, it's a perfectly good woods that people could enjoy, and it's just sitting there doing nothing. Like, no one's in there, no one's farming it, no one's doing anything with it. Okay, it's an environment for animals, you could say that, and it's good for them, but that's not why they're doing it. They're doing it because private landowners don't want people going on their land. I can understand, again, like, you know, teenagers and stuff like that, like go in there and drink and leave their trash, but that's a matter of education really. But it's a good woods that people could walk through, they can enjoy, you know, you could even camp in it. And you see this all the time, like just massive areas are fenced off. The wilderness has been taken away from us and still is. It's a shame. I would add though, I don't, you know, blame the landowners. Like, if it was them, it's probably the way a lot of us think, you know, it's just part of our culture that we want to own stuff. The minute you own stuff, you're doing the same thing. You're keeping it for yourself, taking it away from everyone else, and you want it to be yours and no one to touch it. I can understand that. And you know, some landowners are kind of bred into that mentality as well, and it's all they've known from when they're young is that, you know, if they're a kind of if you're talking old money and the sort of upper classes, that they own this land and it's theirs and it's rightfully theirs because they're a higher class of people. And it's just got bred into the mentality. You can't really change that without changing the entire culture, which is what I think we need to do in this country, and claim back our wilderness. The only way we've ever done that in the past is by force or protest, like the mass trespass. I'll try and put a link up about that, but I'd look that up. It's a really cool story. So I'm back in Purton, and I've just stopped off, just making a bit of porridge because nothing's open. It's a bit too early still. I think it's about, what is it? Let me check. It's like, yeah, getting on for 8 o'clock. There's no cafes, nothing like that on the way. There's pubs, but they don't open till, what time is it now? I can't remember if they open at like midday, so I'm not sure if the pubs, I'm going to get a pub on the way home. So I thought I might as well have something to eat, and if I have to keep going, I can just keep going. But yeah, another nice sunny day. Just found some blackberries on the side of the road. If you go in a bit or go high, they're safer. I wouldn't get the ones from here, they're a bit dried up, and you know, if dogs have been peeing on them and stuff, but in there's some juicy fellas. They are delicious. Nice bit of sugar for the trail, that's good. Okay guys, so as I expected, the pub doesn't actually open till midday, 12 o'clock. But this is the Plume of Feathers I passed on the way, obviously yesterday. Lovely little pub. And it says on this sign down here, it says what's on, and it looks like they got a bike meet. Old and new motorbikes are welcome. Barbecue from 1 today. Depends how I feel later, if I've got enough energy or if I'm sleeping on the couch, but might come back for that. So I'm in Ickleford. I'm at the end of it, where I get back onto the trail again. Last stretch home. I just see a shop, so I was like, oh, kind of need some snacks and sugar, so got a few bits. I like shops like that. They do these weird American drinks. Probably terrible for you, but it's actually shaping up to be a glorious, glorious day. Clear blue skies. Really, really nice weather. I see a couple of classic bikes when I have a little snack stop back there. So just over to my left, down there, you can't really see it, but is the lavender fields, lavender farm. You can go there and there's a calf and stuff, and you can, I think you pay a little fee and then you go and pick some lavender. And I think they sell products there that's made of it. I haven't actually visited it when it's open yet, so that's something else to do. But yeah, it's crossing the final stretch of open fields on this glorious sunny day. The time is just gone 10, so I'll be back, you know, within the hour, I think. And just goes to show, if you want to do, like, you know, if you're getting into walking, you're kind of thinking about doing a walking camp, do something like this. You know, you only need to go probably 5, 6, 7 kilometres out of your front door, and you can probably, unless you live in London or something, you can probably be in relative countryside. You know, check out the maps, try and find a big hill or something like that, or a woods, walk, camp, walk back again. You can do it after work. You can be back the next day before midday or around midday-ish, and you've still got the rest of the day. It doesn't take over your life, and it's not too hard. Don't choose to do something too hard too soon. You know, take it easy, build up to stuff, and just choosing a nice easy direct route straight from your house. You know, you've got less excuses to not do it if you really want to do it.